All right, thank you very much, Jane. The Super Committee has 1 week from today to produce a plan that will reduce the deficit by more than $1 trillion or risk automatic spending cuts in 2013. So will there be a deal that can pass the divided Congress? Joining us from Capitol Hill, a Democratic Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of Illinois and Republican Congressman Scott Garrett of New Jersey. Welcome to you both. Mr. Garrett, welcome back. Nice to see you again. I want to begin by reading a couple of things from two individuals who run literally billions of dollars of investor money in this country, constituents of yours, no doubt. First, from David Kotok, Chief Investment Officer at Cumberland Asset Management. Little level setting here. I believe the market has a low expectation, he says, about the Super Committee's work. Market participants are rightly disappointed in U.S. politicians of both parties and from both chambers. Michael Obachowski, Chief Investment Officer of First Empire Asset Management, says, I think that the basic expectation is that of a cop-out, with some deal allowing them to pretty much do nothing and claim that enough was done to avoid the automatic cuts. The level of skepticism is high. The level of expectation, Mr. Garrett, is extremely low. Do you share that view?
I would say I share that view, and I think most Americans share that view. If you look at the poll numbers just for the entire Congress, as you said, whether Republicans or Democrats, I think we're in the single digits, quite honestly. And why is that? Well, that's the track record of Congress over the years. Regardless of who was in power over the years, Congress was running amok, if you will, with regard to spending, not keeping its fiscal house in order, not doing what businesses and families have to do, living within their means. So it's not too much to surmise that this Super Committee is probably going to do much of the same and just either kick the can down the road or make only marginal improvements. So I don't think that's out of line with anticipation.
Congressman Schakowsky, Mr. Garrett sounds very discouraging there, that either the can is going to get kicked down the road, there may not be a deal. Do you share his view?
Well, first of all, let me say it's only a decade ago that actually we had a balanced budget and a surplus, in fact, under the Democrats. But let me just say, I just came from a press conference where patriotic millionaires were saying, tax me. Now, when Jeb Hensarling, one of the co-chairs of the Super Committee, says there will not be tax increases and that revenue really is not on the table, how can we come up with an agreement? It would be only fair that in order to reduce the deficit, the tax revenue, new tax revenue, especially off of the wealthiest Americans, be part of that deal. If that's off the table, how can we agree?
First, Congresswoman, an opposition ad in your next race is going to use that picture you just held up of tax me. I mark my word on that. Number two, but the Republicans have indicated, at least signaled, haven't they, Congresswoman, that they are open to some revenue enhancements, either $250 billion or under one plan, I believe, by Senator Toomey, of up to $600 billion, so long as the Bush tax cuts are extended and rates are lowered. So they seem open on the face of it to some revenue raising.
Well, the operative word is seem, because when you say that we're going to have a permanent decrease in tax rates, that we're going to reduce corporate taxes, that over the long haul, in fact, the revenue that's raised will be lower. And that is not where most Americans are. 81% think the real way to solve our deficit problem is to tax millionaires and billionaires, not out of revenge or punishment, because of the fairness, because we have a great disparity in income in this country.
Congressman Garrett, are Republicans genuinely open? Are you genuinely open to the idea of revenue enhancements as part of a Super Committee deal, and could you vote for it?
Well, as I think about that, I first hope every one of those millionaires who was at your hearing is leaving today writing a large check to the federal government, not tax deductible, to do so, because if they want to put their money where their mouth is, that's what they could do. And you know for a fact that we cannot balance our budget simply by taxing people who make $1 million or more. You could take 100% of that money, that wouldn't solve it. You could take 100% of people making over around $300,000, I believe the numbers are, and you still would not get to where we need to be. So the answer is that it's not a revenue problem, it's a spending problem. We have just reached the point now in this country where our debt to GDP ratio is just about 1 to 1. We have to address the spending aspect. And to your point, as far as the Toomey proposal that's out there, you're right. So Republicans have put things on the table that would even have included revenue increases. And unfortunately, the Democrats have not come back to them and said they'll accept any of those.
Folks, we have to leave it there. I have a feeling we're going to invite you back as the timer ticks down to next Wednesday. I appreciate you being with us.
Thanks so much.
You.